Hello. I want to start every one of these videos with a weird one. The reason is it's with all the changes that are happening with me. My mental health is forever changing. The medication's added extra change. My life is demanding change. And it's made this really weird soup that doesn't have any consistency to the ingredients I put in. But I understand the reasonings. But what it is because I put in too many ingredients, or because too many ingredients went in all at the same time, the flavours changed totally, and I need to get back on track with the soup. I'm terrible with analogies. I've just got no energy for today's one. But I need to get back on track with this soup as soon as possible before it all goes in the bin. And I just need to trust that it's life that's been making the soup, and I've tried to remove myself as much as possible. And if the soup goes in the bin, it's because life wants the soup to go in the bin. And from what I understand of life, life wants life. And if the soup goes in the bin, that's not life. Unless it's some weird, complex, trans-dimensional, time-travelling, complex situation I can't even comprehend. In other words, I need to learn a lesson or two again. So I need to learn, I need to suffer, I need to learn from the negatives in life. Instead of being able to keep my life learning from a positive means. And I say positive, but it's just a means where we don't have to suffer. That's my mindset. We don't need to suffer as human beings. There's challenges in the world, and we can deal with them proactively. And right now, I'm in a place where, as I said, life is making this soup, and I'm going with the flow, and I'm like, are you sure this soup's going to taste nice, life? Because everything to me was reminding me of soups that I've made in the past that have looked exactly like this soup is being made, and they've all gone in the bin. But I know things are a bit different this time, and I've stepped out of the way a little bit more, so I'm not so nervous about things, and I am more on the ball, despite a mental health disorder that is more challenging than ever. Besides the effects and side effects of medication, besides the effects of life that are being put on me, pressures by life. And I'm hoping that's as far as it goes, and I'm hoping that as long as I can stay awake and alert to all of those things, which I'm doing my best for. I'm not Superman, and I'm human, so I've got to remember that. Just do my best within that. And despite all of these extra challenges, despite the soup looking like it's going to go in the bin according to my past, I also have to remember, according to my past, I've learnt a lot of lessons. And I know within myself I'm still applying them. And I can see I'm making little mistakes here and there, but these mistakes are beyond my consciousness. And that's where I draw the line to a certain extent. You know, I'm prepared, and I will do my best not to make mistakes. But I can't be afraid as well of being proactive to the soup making process. And if I think, you know, life has left me no choice but to chuck a bit of garlic in or add a little bit of extra salt because the soup's going off track, and that's might be all that it needs to bring it round, even though the likelihood is it's going to need a lot more attention. I can't be afraid to add a little bit of soup in. And if I really need the food, if I really need the nourishment of this soup, and I can't fathom chucking it away, because, well, I'll probably force myself to eat it, even if it tastes terrible, even if it makes me ill. That's where I am in the circumstance, and it means so much to me, this soup. So I'm doing my best not to get down. I'm doing my best to stay alert. And this is all what I'm seeing as life is asking of me. And I guess I'm looking to see a miracle this time in in this soup coming round from almost certainty in my own mindset, according to my part. As I said, I've learnt lessons along the way, and I'm applying them in the moment. So this soup making process is putting me present, like I've never been before, given my mental health, given the effects of medication upon my consciousness. So it's like my consciousness is carrying a massive amount of weight on me, on its own head. And I'm quite foggy under all this weight. And all I can do is try and be as present as possible in each moment, given all the fogginess, to see clearly every single millisecond from this ever-changing picture, with this consciousness swaying and flowing, and my body's moving and under the weight trying to stand up, and my consciousness is getting a different snapshot each and every second of a changing picture. And all I can do is try and be as present as possible, because if I try and remain as present as possible, I can just try and remember as much as possible from my past and all the lessons that I've been asked to learn in my life, that I've wanted to learn in addition to that. So I can see a way forward. And one of the more challenging aspects of my mental health at the moment is that of adjusting my mood appropriately without clinging to depression. Now, what I mean by that is life is asking me to be focused, and with focus, the type of focus that it's asking of me is like the level of detail I've gone down to is, first and foremost, it feels cold. there. But because it's so cold at these depths, yeah, and I know I'm going all abstract, so I don't know how many of you are following, but I'm going to continue because in my own head I'm making sense. At the level of the depths I'm dealing with, that life is asking me to focus at, it's very cold. It's a cold place to be, it's very alone. Now, I haven't got a problem with that. I mean, I do have a problem with that from a distance. But I'm so close to it, it's not an issue. I can't let it be an issue. And I've as I said, I've learnt my lessons from the past, and I've got all the resources I need. Not to worry about the coldness. If anything, in a strange abstract way, I won't go into details why, but it's almost reassuring that, oh, I'm finally here, I'm finally experiencing this coldness. But I can't deny that this level of focus is so real. I'm so cold. I need to be alert because I need to make room within it to stay warm. Yeah? So it's asking me to focus, but I need to keep my body alive. And it's not that serious, but it's serious. And I need to keep my body alive, and I need to keep my heart alive. I need to keep warmth in my soul. But ultimately, on the outside, it looks very cold, and it is very cold. So what's happening is my life is resorting to a more playful state, and I think I was going to say it was the medication, but it's not the medication. I think it's just my programming. It's my default state. The sun's out. It's like spring. You relax from the cold, innit? I've recently been discharged from hospital, so it's a relief. It's like, let's chill out. Let's have a good time. Things are going my way. And the preconditioned state of the body is to chill out, it's to relax, it's to be like too warm. And this is helping me speaking on camera now, because it's making me clarify a level of detail that I can't get to in my own space sometimes, especially with my head and the medication. It's like, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have these live streams. But what's happening is it's like I'm chilling out, and it's too much for the level of focus life is asking of me. So what I want to do, what the instinct is to do, is to go to the opposite. Right, I need to be focused. Let's go depression. Let's be in depression. Because my life is depressing. It's like it's an easy thing to do. It's finding that balance, because if I go into depression, I'll go too cold. So I'm better off staying in the slight warmth at the moment of the sun, of the relaxing, and constantly focusing my attention and saying, right, Andres, you need to focus. You need to focus. Because it's like, what will happen is, it's important how you get to places, and it's all an individual process. But for me right now, from the picture I've expressed to you, it's like I need to take that warmth and keep it inside of me. So it's better to be in the warmth and to constantly work at the focus. So the focus is what is honed, and the warmth is what is lost, or what is cut away, what is trimmed. Instead of being in the cold and trying to warm yourself up, because it's like, can you see what I'm trying to say? The focus is in a different place. You're coming at it from a different angle, and it's amazing that I'm having to communicate that this is so important. to just live in life, man. But I've put the weight of the world on my shoulders, and the world came knocking recently and said, right, well, you've got some weight on your shoulders. We acknowledge it. So where the past year, so for the past 10 years I've fought my mental health, yeah? Last year I accepted, right, that's it, I give up, I surrender. 9 years fighting my mental health disorder. I'm not going back, man. It's been 9 years. Look at me. I've aged. I've got a beard now. There's a third of my life, or well, almost a third of my life. It's a third of my life. It's been longer than 9 years. Hang on a second. Let me do the math. Yeah, it's been 11 years I've had my mental health disorder now. So last year, I've been trying to find comfort and find life within my mental health disorder. Accept my disability, accept my bodily discomforts. Like, all this time I've been fighting along the way, I've been fighting my body too. So I've been like, for the first time, let's surrender, let's give in, let's accommodate what my body and my mind is asking of me. And I've done that. And that's the process you've seen happening over the past year. That's why I've been complaining. Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know why I've been complaining right this moment. But right now, my life is saying to me, right, Andres, you've accepted you've got a mental health disorder. You accepted your disability. Now is the time to go back the other way and start fighting again, as if you don't have a mental health disorder. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't know if it's to find a middle ground, to see, right, this is where your mental health is. It's possibly to make me feel my mental health as much as possible. So I've gone at it from one way. I relaxed. Now it's asking me to go back. I don't know what it wants of me, man. I don't know if it wants me to be Superman. I don't know if it wants me to crumble and be the weakest man alive. But I think that's the process. I think it is to give everything you can in being as strong as you can, in being superhuman. And it's a process. It's not to become superhuman, because nobody is. We're only human, innit? So I'm going to try and be as human as possible, as strong as I can in my humanness as possible. Then I'm going to fail, and I'm going to experience emotional terror like never before. And I really don't know right now. I'm so lost within life if smiling is a good thing or a bad thing. So I'll just continue and leave it as it is, and experience emotional terror like I've never experienced before. An emotional terror. And because it's only emotions, it will be as real as all the physical pain I've had, all the mental pain I've had, all the energetic torment I've had. What other one is there? There's one or two others that I'm missing. And it will be as real as all of them. It will feel as real as all of them. But because it's only emotion, it'll be a cleansing process. and I'll get up from that beating, and chances are I'll have nothing left on the outside either, because then it's another cleansing process. You start again, it's a spiritual process, and I'll have nothing on the outside either. This is what I suspect. This is a spiritual path. It just makes sense to me on a spiritual level that this is what's going to take place. It's not me being pessimistic and depressive and down and what's the word I'm looking for, negative. It's me believing that this is a spiritual process, a cleansing process. And I don't want to go through it because I've expressed it. It's not nice, is it? For me, forget the emotions. If it was just an emotional hitting the wall and feeling like you can't breathe, and you experiencing every flipping pain on an emotional level that you can imagine, then so be it. But for me, it's like, from this perspective, I can't see an easy life thereafter with nothing, because that bit's out of my control, and I know that bit is down to life. And life might give to me. My life will probably ask me to get up myself. That's what it always does. And I'll have to get on. But because it'll be a cleansing process, I think I'll be clearer, and I won't carry so much baggage with me. And the likelihood is my decision and my thinking process will be less, what's the word I'm looking for? When you self-destruct, what's it? When you sabotage, self-sabotaging. Because I can't say it's in my thinking process at the moment, but it is to a certain extent. I'll carry fears with me, and I half justify it as a logical thinking process, but we'll see. I almost was going to leave this, can I be superhuman? But if I know anything from my life, and what my life has taught me, is that I'm no better than any other person alive. And nobody is superhuman, we're all human. Even Jesus died, didn't he? Who's immortal anymore? They're all hiding. What are they scared of? Why don't they come out and claim their immortality? Say, look, this is the way. Where all the spiritual gurus with the superpowers, they're hiding. Why are they hiding? When they have something to share for all of us that are suffering on this level. Nobody is superhuman. And I think that's the best way I can leave this video for myself. To know I'm destined for failure, because that kind of keeps me focused to the nth degree, and really does cool this natural warmth this time of the year to my circumstances that I'm experiencing. It's a mental brain gym for Andreas. There's this, I'll leave this video with a little bit more, and that is this: my mental health, it clings on to little sayings, and especially from my uncle. And there was a comment my uncle made about somebody, and my uncle isn't wasteful with language. He wasn't wasteful with with hardly anything. And there's this one comment he made about an individual, and my uncle was never malicious, so if it sounds negative, it's our own perception of that and my lack of understanding. And at the moment it sounds negative to me, so my brain hones on it. It's like, well, what could he have meant? What could he have meant? And my brain's been going around this for years now. And essentially the comment was, this gentleman doesn't train. If you knew my uncle, he worked non-stop. He was, at least in his last few years of his life, he didn't stop. He gave everything. Now, I don't know on what level my uncle meant that comment. I know it wasn't anything bad towards that individual, and it was more for myself to teach me something. My uncle had a strong focus on a mental aspect to life. The mind's been a very powerful tool. And maybe this is it, innit? The gym is in your head. The training is in your head. Focus, focus, focus. Goodbye.